All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Champions League night is amongst us. It's going to be a blockbuster. We're covering two matches. I'm watching two matches at once. I had to watch Liverpool versus Rangers, but of course, Inter Milan versus Barcelona is the blockbuster match at the moment, in my opinion. So we're going to try and cover that. Hope you guys are all doing well, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you guys are. The match is about to start very, very shortly. Meanwhile, let's see if I can get this live score up and running. So let's share the screen. We're going to have Ryan join us very, very shortly as well. So don't worry one bit. We will be covered nicely. Hope you all are doing well. All right, so we've got the live scores there, and yeah, let's have a top watch along, ladies and gentlemen. Inter Barca, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think even Liverpool versus Rangers will be a very, very good game as well. Liverpool, they're in a lot of trouble. They really are. They're in a lot of trouble, and it'll be interesting to see what they get up to. Barcelona. Wow, there's no Dembele for Barcelona. Interesting lineup for Barcelona. Let's have a quick look. Where's the Barcelona match? Here we go. Inter Milan versus Barcelona. Let's bring this up just quickly. Let's have a look at the lineups. So Inter lineup is Onana, Skriniar, De Vrij, Bastoni, Darmian, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, DeMarco, Correa, Lautaro Martinez. That's a strong lineup. Oh, no, there is Dembele. That's brilliant for Barcelona. Barcelona have got Dembele, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Pedri, Sergio Busquets, Gavi, Alonso, Eric Garcia, Andres Christensen, Sergi Roberto, and Ter Stegen. That's top, man. That's a top lineup. It's going to be amazing. And just have a quick look at the Liverpool lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Liverpool, Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Henderson, Thiago Alcantara, Salah, Diego Jota, Luis Diaz, and I'm going to get in trouble for this. I'll turn that off. And for Rangers, Morelos, Kent, Tillman, S. Davies, Lundstrom, Barisic, King, Davies, Goldson, Tavernier, and McGregor. Okay, match is about to start, ladies and gentlemen, and it's kicked off. It has definitely kicked off at Barcelona versus Inter Milan. Let me just bring this back. Okay. All right. Smash the like button, guys, while you're at it. Marcos Alonso starting for Barcelona. Mad times. Musaholic, hi Miz, another blockbuster watch along come right here on the other side of the coin. Yeah, baby, come on. Prasanna, hey Miz, how you doing? Doing all right, my man. Hope you're doing well as well. Liam, good to see you. Surfs, good to see you. Yeah, he's playing. Dembele is playing. Barcelona's defense looks beatable. 100% it does. All right. Osman Dembele. Cross coming in, blocked for a corner. Liverpool Rangers. Trent Alexander-Arnold has the ball at the moment. Passes it to Henderson. There's a lot of criticism for Trent Alexander-Arnold, and rightly so, man. He's been so rubbish. Shubra, good to see you, my man. Alonso. Gavi back to Alonso. Alonso finding Lewandowski. Man, what a turn of events for Alonso, huh? He's playing with Lewandowski now. Lautaro Martinez. Ooh, intercepted. Liverpool. Looks like it's Darwin Nunez up front. I so want Rangers to beat Liverpool, man. So want them to beat Liverpool. Liverpool could be in trouble, man. The next Premier League two matches, Arsenal and Man City, two of the form teams in the Premier League. I just get the feeling they could get a slapping. Nash, good to see you, my man. Ladies and gentlemen, as you're coming through, smash the like button. Bayern Munich have already won 5-0 earlier on, and so is Marseille. Ooh, shot for Liverpool, and it's blocked by the Rangers keeper. And Marseille won 4-1 against Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, we're playing tomorrow. I'll have the preview for it sometime tomorrow as well. Early tomorrow. So do look out for that. That shot was straight at the goalkeeper from Darwin Nunez. My boy Ryan Gunnis is in the house. Ryan, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Sorry for being 3 minutes late.
That's all right. That's absolutely fine, man. I'm doing a double watch along, by the way. It's Inter Milan versus Barcelona and Liverpool versus Rangers. So you pick the match, obviously. I know you're going to choose Barcelona, Inter Milan. That's the juicy one.
What about Napoli Ajax?
Oh yeah, that one. Too many matches to watch. Right. Definitely can't do 3 watch alongs.
You only have 2 eyes, right?
Yeah, I got 2
Unless
eyes.
you're like me, who have 4. Who have 4 eyes.
Are you watching Napoli Ajax as well?
Nah, I'm just sticking to one, bro.
Yeah, fair
Inter
enough.
Barcelona. Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen.
Classic low block seems like for Inter Milan at the moment, or Barcelona.
I don't know, man. What's going on with Inzaghi, bro? I mean, like, such a
Yeah.
promising manager, someone who I love a lot, managing style from Lazio days, even last season, but this season it just seems like they've
Are
lost
you a
all
bit
their
shocked?
confidence.
Are you a bit shocked, bro? Some of the results are going south as well.
Yeah, I think much more than tactically, it just seems lack of belief or inspiration, because I was analyzing Inter versus Roma to write an article, and yeah, Inter setup seemed really good numerically, everything. It just seems that like that extra energy to close down a player, because it's one thing to have the advantage on the man marking, right? But the next thing to actually close down when the structure is right?
Yeah.
And it just seems like the simple things, the closing down, knowing when to close down, when not to, is just off. It just seems like he really shut off confidence, both in attack and defense. It seems like a team that, there's rumors going around that Inzaghi might get his sack if he loses tonight.
Oh my God! Really? Is it that deep?
Yep. Yeah, they're like what, 10th in Serie A or something right now.
Yeah, they are. They're nowhere near. But it's crazy, Ryan. I mean, that team, that lineup, like from defense to offense. Here we go. Inter Milan now. 2v3, but quickly Barcelona players are retrieving Lautaro Martinez, and the ball's been stolen. But yeah, it's a long shot. Oh, Ter Stegen's had to make a big save there. Chanaloglu. But yeah, Ryan, it's crazy. That team is very good, man. It's a very, very good team from top to bottom.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it just seems like something internally, probably, like when teams, like on a Tuchel, they could have seen it too. Like structurally, we were really well, but it's just the extra zip where you need like structure could only go so far, but it's up to you to close down and this and that. That extra energy, that pace, that hunger, that desire, and it seems like maybe something internally with manager and players, something is lost there because the kind of energy and press this team used to have from last year August to probably around February before they lost form was fantastic. One of the best teams I've seen in a while. So um, I'm really I know confused as to where things gone wrong, man. Because Inzaghi is someone who I really respect, but
Yeah.
honestly, with this 3-5-2, also, I just feel like throughout Inzaghi's whole career, he used this formation at Lazio, at Inter. It just seems that I don't know if he has that ability to change, like how we see Liverpool using our 4-4-2 today.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has that ability to change.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I mean, do you know what? Like, I wish. Oh, and it's a goal for Liverpool from Trent Alexander-Arnold from the free kick. Oh my days! What a shot from Trent Alexander-Arnold. I hope the Rangers come back, man. I don't want these guys to win, man. Let's have a look at this again. Oh man, that was a banging free kick, Ryan, man.
Mm.
Um, I was going to say they're going to show the highlight. We'll get back to that Inter Milan talk again. I was going to say, Ryan, that hold on, let me have a look at this again. Oh my days, that sensational hit from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oh, top bins, no chance. Ryan, I wish teams and fans, honestly speaking, like I know some people will be like, oh, it's coming from a Chelsea fan, like how rich. I wish fans and board like they gave chance for a manager to see through the hard times and come back out of it positive. The very first taste of adversity, which is what Inter Milan's going through right now under Inzaghi. And there's talks about sacking him. I mean, let him try and come, like sacking him and getting someone. What do they expect? Like, are they just worried that at this rate they're just going to miss out on Champions League football and that's detrimental to the football club and they can't afford to do that? Is that what it is? That even in your worst season, Inzaghi, you need to be top four? Like, is that what it is?
It seems the way, because Inter Milan is a team that financially they're kind of in ruins. So to have Champions League football, top four football is a must. Whether you love Inzaghi or not, the players love him or not, the kind of investment they made in recent years to win that Scudetto and to even put this team together for Inzaghi in the financial crisis they have,
Yeah.
they need top four. They need top four.
Yeah.
So I think that if Inzaghi shows that he cannot go through this or make a turn in this adversity as soon as possible, I could see it happening, especially probably before World Cup. I think this is going to be an interesting period for managers because I think everybody will want to get rid of their manager and get a new one in before World Cup. So
Yeah, no, it's actually well thought out what you just said because the Italian clubs financially are not doing well, and I think the Chinese owners for Inter Milan, Zhang, I think that's his name. They've done a decent amount of investments to keep the team competitive, I suppose. So you're right, man. At the end of the day, not getting Champions League, I think it's financially detrimental for them as well, and it could downward spiral for them. One season if you don't make the Champions League. So yeah, I definitely hear that.
like
Um,
Pep said it. They asked him a question. I think it has this video around on Twitter going around with Ferdinand asking Pep like, "How do you get players to win not only 1, 2, 3, but 4, 5, 6, 7?" And you say you have to change it every season. Things
Got
have to
to, bro.
change. Pieces have
Yeah.
to change. Pieces of the puzzle have to change. You know what I mean? And the good victorious picture don't necessarily mean the same pieces of the puzzle, because
Mm.
one victorious image today might be a losing image tomorrow. So
Mm.
it's
Well said, bro. Well said.
so wow, that was poetic, bro.
That
Jeez,
was very poetic, man.
damn, bro.
I mean, I
Um,
did expect that from you. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie. It's not surprising one bit.
yeah, but wow, that even shocked me. I'm feeling good about that. Like yeah,
By the way, Ajax 1-0 against Napoli, ladies and gentlemen. Kudus, bro. People, look out for this guy, bro.
yeah. I remember you
Mohamed
telling me about
Kudus.
him.
Look out for Mohamed Kudus, bro.
Miss, you wanna know a fun fact?
Talk to me, man.
I haven't watched really any minutes under Graham Potter yet, or watch any press
Right.
conferences or so any news regarding the Chelsea, except the Nkunku news.
Are you like still hurt, I suppose, from the Tuchel situation?
Nah, it's just that I watch so much football because I have to like learn football, and it's just like so much matches. Like I send you my watching schedule.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like 4 top matches every weekend. It's hard to keep up, man.
No, it is, man. Sometimes I want to do so many more watch-alongs, but I can't. First of all, it's in insane times. Secondly, I've got full-time work, as you know, and then obviously you've got family, young son. Like it's just tough. Alonso inside the box, and his classic crossing from Alonso from the
Yeah,
back,
man.
back in the Chelsea days. See, I feel like Jordi Alba in those areas, like the prime Jordi Alba I'm talking about.
A cut back to Messi, who just slotted
Oh,
in
that's a
bottom
1-0.
corner.
That's 1-0. That is 1-0. Xavi's thinking, man, in my days, that's a goal.
You know, this team that Barcelona had, they've been doing well. They've winning the games, but the dominance they've shown glimpses of last season. I
Hmm.
think they haven't really showed stylistically that dominance yet this season with so
Yeah.
much new pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah. Makes
Uh,
sense, though, right? Right? I mean, so many new players coming in. It's going to take a bit of time for them to all sort of play that fluid kind of football.
Most
You know what I mean?
important, they are winning and they're playing
Yeah.
well. They're playing above average, I would say,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not quite excellent yet.
Yeah. Wait till they actually start clicking in sometime next season or even later on this season.
Miz, what do you think about tomorrow, bro? I am scared against AC Milan, bro. That is such an organized team, bro. If you want some
Bro,
analysis, well, some input onto AC Milan's game, I know quite a lot because I analyzed them quite a few times this season already.
bro, let's do the preview together, man. Let's do the preview together. I haven't done the preview, so we'll talk about a time after the match, and then I can sort of premiere it early in the morning or something like that. But
Yeah, I
that'd
think
be
the
great.
main thing to take note about AC Milan's game
Hmm.
is their man marking in midfield is crazy.
Wow. Okay.
Like
So
if
what you're
someone
saying?
has a man, right,
Yeah.
and that midfielder runs in behind as a striker, the marker will follow that guy as a center back, basically. Meaning that they will follow you, like you know how under Herrera followed
By the way,
Hazard.
Hudson-Odoi scored against Porto.
Wow,
Oh
that's good.
my
Good.
days. We need to watch that. Good stuff. Hudson-Odoi, Champions League goal. All right, Hudson. Okay, sorry, bro. Go on.
Nah, it's okay. But as I was saying, is like how I think AC Milan, how under Herrera used to man mark Hazard,
Yeah, yeah, I
they
remember
will
that
follow
game.
you on and off the ball.
Yeah.
That is what Pioli likes to do with his midfield, and he has basically a midfield three because even though it's a double pivot with Tonali, and that other guy, um, it's a 4-2-3-1, so it's a three-man midfield. So get ready, man, and they're really tactically really well. They could build up in a back two, a back three. Tonali could play as a fullback, DM attacking eight. They are a really
Tell me a
good
little
team,
bit.
man.
Tell me a little bit about Benassa.
Yeah, that's the name I was trying to remember. I think what's so dangerous with them is that both Tonali and him could play very well as a regista together with playing as an 8 with a back toward marker. So they're very hard to track during the game. Many times you'd see Tonali go between fullback and CB to make a back three, pushing up their left back Theo Hernandez. And many times, what is Benacer?
Benacer, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Benacer would be that lone DM. So, and they do that throughout the
Algerian or
game
something, isn't
constantly.
he? Yeah.
So they're hard to track, they're hard to mark. That means they build up plays really well. And with target man Giroud there, and with Leao on the counter and Hernandez on the counter,
It's a good balance, isn't it?
they could go long or they could build out, and
Yeah.
that's what's so dangerous about them. I think we have a good match, bro. I think they could really beat us badly. Like,
Yeah.
not badly in a scoreline perspective, but badly as in dominance, if that makes sense. So it could be
No,
like 2-1, but they could dominate that 2-1.
100% makes sense, man. I'm definitely worried about it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you got to see AC Milan versus Empoli. Bit of highlights on it. I saw just some extended highlights. As you said, both Giroud has that quality to hold up the play, link up the play, but then you've got the blockbuster Rafael, who's just he can just do it on his own. Do you know what I mean? And then, as you said, from defense to midfield, they can really build up as well if they want to, as opposed to going direct at times. But this is what I have to say, right? It's do or die, bro. It's do or die. I can't have any other result. A draw is not going to be good enough. And after what Stefano Pioli said during the international break, that Empoli is the more tougher match against Chelsea. He feels that if AC Milan just show up to their normal sense, they'll walk away with some points. So the way he was talking about Chelsea, I felt disrespected. I really did. And if the players don't see that, now some people can say me,
What did he say again? What did he say?
Look, some people are saying it's a bit of misinterpretation in English, but apparently the translation was that Empoli is the tougher game for him, and against Chelsea, as long as AC Milan come with their 100% sort of mindset, they should be walking away with something. Do you know what I mean? But Empoli was the tougher game for them.
Yeah, that's true.
I know, but I don't care. It hurts. I know it's true. Everyone has been telling me it is, but it's true. But for me,
But when
it's
did he
more
say that?
like
After the Empoli game or before the Empoli game?
before the Empoli game.
Probably just
Before
had to keep focus on his team. Like this team.
I get it. I get it.
him.
I get it. But I hope the Chelsea players take that and really use that as a motivation. And
I hope, I hope that could teach them how to act on it too and beat the player 1v1. Okay, let me go down that tangent again.
no, we're not going to go down that. But you know what I mean? I mean, like, Ryan, it's a do or die. The draw's not going to be good enough, man. We have to beat them. We have to.
I'm not quite sure what to think of Potter because I haven't seen him at this stage yet. Because one thing.
Oh, by the way, no goal for Callum. Oh,
damn, you jinxed it, bro. Yeah, I love how Miss pretending to be unhappy about that. Miss is like, damn, no goal.
Don't be like that, bro. I want to see him do well.
That's like me celebrating a Pulisic goal.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to be rooting for Frank Lampard during the weekend, bro. They're coming up against Man United. Man United.
You know, Frank doing okay,
Bro, the strongest defense in the Premier League.
I know that killing me on the inside too, bro.
Why do you do this, Ryan? Why do you do this in front of my own people, bro? Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, I would just say when I was talking about Potter, I was like, I haven't seen him at this stage yet in knockout football like this, so I'm not sure. From a first point perspective, I see Potter as really tactical. So I think he'll be similar to Tuchel, as in he will treat each game structurally, as in he wants to win the battles on the field. if you win the battles on the field, the challenges on the field against the other team structure, then you could win the game, right? I feel like versus a team like Barcelona, you could tell that every game they go in the same, the same stylistically. So they believe stylistically instead of structurally. Whereas Italian teams and Tuchel, etc., they believe more structurally than stylistically. They don't care how they win. They just want to win each battle.
Yeah.
Win the first third, the second third, the final third, and you win the match. So I'm just really curious as to see how Potter's approach is,
Yeah, me too, man. I'm very curious as well because he doesn't have. Oh, by the way, is that a handball? Is that a handball from? That's a handball. That's a
Skriniar?
handball for Inter Milan. That should be a penalty. Barcelona. Who's the player, by the way, that did the handballs? Was this Sergio Roberto or something, or was it Busquets? Yeah, it was Busquets, wasn't it?
Oh, Miss, do you see Jorginho replacing Busquets next season?
I heard some rumors that Barcelona, but is that true though? Do you think so?
I think it'll be Juve or Barcelona. Yeah,
He would fit in, wouldn't he? He would fit in at Barcelona.
I think I prefer him go Barca, to be honest.
I wouldn't mind seeing him at Barca one bit. I think it makes sense. It would be very, very strange, though, to see him, Steven Gerrard in Liverpool, watching Rangers and Liverpool. Interesting. But yeah, I don't want to lose Jorginho on a free, but looks like it's probably going to be on a free. They're checking the potential penalty here. I think it's a penalty, man. I really do. Oh, they're checking.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, penalty.
Yeah, it's got to be a penalty. Yeah, of course. Yes, it's a penalty. By the way, Ryan, Napoli won, Ajax won. We need to talk a little bit about this particular player. I saw a glimpse of this player in the international matches, both of them for Italy. Raspadori, he just equalized. Seems like a good player to me, man. Sort of plays like a number 10 sort of position.
It was Scamacca and Raspadori, two biggest players out of that Sassuolo team from last season. They were in a striking duo. Actually, he was one of the favorites to go to Juve, Raspadori.
So the hype is real. He's a good player.
In Serie A, everybody knows that he's one of the best youngsters there is with Scamacca, right? Okay. The thing is, with him, he was supposed to go to Juve, but Allegri was holding on to get back Morata on deadline day.
By the way, there wasn't a pen. They didn't give a pen. It's offside. What?
Oh, shit. Yeah. So they was holding out for Morata, and that's why Napoli just went in and bought him. But Napoli, so they already have a replacement for, how do you say his name? The Nigerian striker,
Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, Osimhen. They already have a replacement for him. A part of me is kind of sad to see players like him and Leao leave Serie A, though. I feel like Serie A have something good going for them now. And Savic in Lazio, and they have stars in each team.
You're right, bro. They do. Each team, these are like Roma, Dybala, even Tammy Abraham to a certain degree. I'm not going to lie.
Zaniolo, Roma too.
Yeah, man. Like Serie A is lit, right? It's absolutely lit this season. And we still haven't seen the best of Juventus, obviously. They've not clicked into gears. Inter Milan has not clicked into gears.
I think Udinese is third on the table.
Udinese!
And De La Feo is doing fantastic. Another player we should probably think about. Like, what a player.
A player who I've liked a lot, man, even back in his, Barcelona and Watford days. And for some reason, the player just doesn't stick around for too long in a particular club. But yeah, De La Feu, they've got that other Watford player, Isaac Success, I think, as well up front. They've got another Watford player, Pereira. Do you remember Pereira?
Oh, yeah. So
from Juventus, I think.
Serie A is really good, man. I'm really curious to see where Lazio, Roma finish. I'm curious to see if Atalanta could win it. You know why? As opposed to other teams who have European Conference League,
Yeah.
Atalanta has none. They just have 7 days to focus on one league game.
Wow.
And with
Atlanta's in no
Gasperini,
Europe. Like they're not in Europe at all.
yeah, and Gasperini changed his way of football because he's lost all his technical players who could have played the attacking style. So now he
Yeah.
has a more pragmatic approach, not sitting back at all, but the defense, the structure in the defense and pressing and attack is one of the best I've seen in Serie A this year. Like, I want Atalanta to win it this year, honestly. So I
Mm.
mean, I'm a Serie A addict, bro. Like, I feel sad when I'm watching and analyzing a game that's not Serie A. That's like how we got to know. Like,
Do you know what? Syria is interesting as hell, man. Like, as I said, like there's a lot of good teams now, even matches. You know, it's not like one team running away with it like previous years
yeah,
where
and then
Juventus
have
just ran
Fiorentina and
away.
all these guys too who not hit top form, but they still that top 10 in Serie A is really close.
Very, very good, man. Very good. Here comes Barcelona. Osman Dembele out wide. Osman Dembele is doing some good dribbles, just not going anywhere. They've been able to sort of nullify him and or sort of force him to move.
Goal.
Inter Milan, 1v1. Lautaro Martinez. This has got to be a goal.
I think that's Korea, bro, but that's
Korea, I
offside.
think it's Korea. It's 1-0.
It's offside,
Oh.
bro. I think I'm gonna switch it to Napoli a little bit.
Switch it, bro. Switch it. Play the switch in you know, the switch card.
Let me see if it's on TV. Hold on.
He's like, no, that's not offside. Well, that was offside. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, 27, 28 minutes gone. Liverpool 1-0 to Rangers and Inter Milan 0-0 with Barcelona. Samuel is saying Napoli game is really good. Yeah, probably should have watched that Napoli game, but it
Yeah, I
is
should
what it
take up
is.
that Rangers game up on Napoli, bro.
Yeah, but I wanted to see Liverpool lose. That's
Is
why.
is Edson playing today?
Yeah, it's an Alvarez. Should be playing. Let's have a look. Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah, let us know how he does. Actually, I
Some
need to watch a
Edson
lot more.
ball.
Yeah, I need to watch a lot more of Napoli, man. I really like that Kavica, their winger, Georgian winger. Raspadori is one that I really want to start watching a lot more.
I think Spalletti
Um,
just impresses me as a manager so much.
yeah, he's a good manager, bro. Spalletti used to be former Roma manager, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, they came to it last season, right? They were in that title race till the very end. And I
Mm.
think they'll be in it this time too. I'm just really curious to see where this table is before World Cup. I think that'll be a big show. That'll be a big like pause and point. Oh yo,
100%.
T20 World Cup.
Yeah, baby. By the
Of
way, Mr.
course.
Ryan, would you guys follow the T20 World Cup? I'm going, by the way. I'm going to Bangladesh versus South Africa in SCG. It's a double match, so I get to watch that plus India versus
Sydney
someone
Cricket
else.
Ground. No,
Yeah.
I have to wake up at ungodly times like what Miss do to watch those games on Australian time, like 4 a.m. and 12 a.m. And it's not like I'll have it on TV. I'll have it on a streaming app, and like on streaming apps, they can't watch it on demand. They can't watch it over. So I'll have to actually watch it live. I'm not watching any 12 a.m. games live. I already know that. But the 4 a.m. ones, I'll wake up and watch.
Bro, now you're gonna feel pain. You're gonna feel pain.
Yeah, and then I
What
have
was
to
I
watch
saying?
West Indies play too.
What's in these all right in T20 on there?
They decent, but we're in a rebuild right now, so
Mm.
it's tough. Like you know how like Spain was like that 2014 World Cup in Spain where all the old stars like did lame and get knocked out of the group stage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like what happened to us last World Cup. I know this time is like the Spain rebuilt, and it took them a few years to actually have a team like they do now.
I feel like West Indies are always in a rebuild, man. Like,
Yeah,
They get a couple of good players, and then for some reason something happens. I don't know, like politically within the cricketing association, and then pay disputes, this, that, and then all of a sudden those players that were doing well are no longer in the team.
I think it was always been a common theme with that, but the old board left and now the new board is good. But the thing is, with it now is just as a poor Caribbean nation, the pay you could give these players to play international cricket or is not the same to franchise. It's just not the same. So most big stars in the Caribbean will kind of opt for franchise instead of making themselves available for West Indies, which is rightly so because we can't pay them even half as much as they would get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it, Ryan? Like some of these players, like if they were, I don't know, like in India or something like that, um, they'd just be getting so much money. Like talented players, these West Indian players, and they
I would
just
say like
don't
they're
get.
like Brazil. It's like
Mm,
I say
mm.
West Indies is the Brazil of
They are, bro.
Brazilian football, like the flair, the
Most natural
Brazilian flair.
talents. Yeah,
Yeah, the
most natural
Brazilian
talents.
flair. Like if you watch Brazil, like the kind of facilities they have is not they just have natural talent and flair because they love the game so much. And
Yeah,
same thing with West Indies. And
it's crazy, man. Like when you think about, you probably don't have the state of the art infrastructures like the way, let's say, India or England or Australia.
goal,
Um,
Napoli, 2-1.
oh, who was it? Raspadori.
Nah, it's the captain, Di Lorenzo.
Oh, T. Lorenzo, the right back.
Yeah, he scored a header from a corner. And look, the manager and all the staff in a huddle hugging each other. And that's togetherness that makes a team do the extra of closing down a player within the structure.
Mm.
I think a team needs to buy in to what they're doing. And with Atalanta, like Gasperini, they say, wait, we won 4 games in a row. We're on top of the table. They buy in to this idea of football. They buy in, like there's reward to closing down and running so much.
Yeah,
And I think with Tuchel, what happened is that there was no buying in anymore
yeah. There's no buying in. You're right,
because
bro.
things just won't work in.
Yeah,
And I don't think the players bought in anymore.
yeah.
But Miss, oh, what are you gonna say? I heard you
I was
take a
just,
deep breath there. We are gonna say something.
I was going to say that you're right, man. When there's no buy-in from the players, it's too difficult, bro. It's too difficult. People talk about, oh, it's the manager's duty, this, that, the other. But when the players don't believe in what you're saying anymore, it's over. And it goes down to the point that you said, you've got to always refresh. This is why Pep Guardiola has been able to keep the ambition high, the drive high at Man City, because every season he is bringing at least one person fresh. Look at this season, Haaland. I think they even got that left back Sergio Gomez, who's already doing really well.
Akanji,
Akanji, they've got that
the
midfielder.
Argentine striker, the other Argentine striker who came in. I
Yes,
forgot his name.
Alvarez.
Yeah.
Julian Alvarez, and then the one in the middle, Calvin Phillips. So there's a lot of change that has happened. And don't fool yourself one bit. Next season, there will be a lot of change again. Players like maybe Riyad Mahrez will probably move on. Players in defense like Kyle Walker, how much longer can they go on? There'll probably be question marks on.
And then there will be a new force. They will have a complete rebuild.
Yeah.
What is ready to take over next 4 years?
And you know what? If you look at Pep's tenure at Man City, and Dembele, is he going to do something here? Oh, dude, look for a pass, bro. Dembele's been a bit strange in this game, man. Lots of good work, but it's just not materializing into end product. Pedri's so good, Ryan. Pedri is sensational, bro. Darwin Nunez's shot has been saved. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, Ryan, Pep, if you look at when he first took command in Man City, obviously he changed the team. That City team, he's completely removed like the defense, the fullbacks and whatnot. But even when he's come in, there's been constantly like new players and players that have been that has left. I remember, didn't Pep Guardiola have this Spanish player, not Ferran Torres? There was another Spanish player. Do you remember the name up front? He was a winger, not Jesus.
Navas,
No, Jesus Navas. It was another guy. There's another
Morito.
like Nolito. Yes, Nolito. Sorry, Nolito. He came in and he went. Do you remember?
Yep.
Shubra saying Negredo. That's another one as well. Like
Yep.
he's
Negredo
seen
him.
many players come in his tenure as well and leave too. So
But
yeah,
I
man.
think one thing about everybody talking about Pep and players, but I would say that that's Man City board and institution is one of the best run institution in world football for the past decade or more. Since 2008 or 9, they have been the best in the world consistently every year. Um, like even with us on our signings, like I don't know how it's making sense. Nkunku did a medical in August before Tuchel was sacked.
Yeah, bro.
Leao, like if you study Leao's game, many of his creativity comes from getting the ball to that target man striker.
Yep.
So even though he is such a good wide wing and he's good at inverted areas and shooting and stuff like that, he thrives like how Vinicius needs a Benzema to thrive. I think
Yeah.
Leao needs that Giroud or Ibrahimovic just to thrive. And I just think that stylistically, with Nkunku playing as probably a striker, Sterling on the right and Leao on the left, I don't know how you're gonna get the best out of a Leao there, and then how you're gonna get the best out of a Nkunku pinned down as a number 9 is like I don't know where the planning coming from.
No, it's a good point, man. I mean, look, Lea's still a long shot, Ryan.
I think
Like,
Leao should go Man City
oh, now with Haaland over there, oh, that's just cheating, bro. Nah.
to replace Grealish and make Grealish a midfielder.
Oh my God, because they could open up space with Riyad Mahrez. Possibly this is his last season.
Like how Bernardo plays a winger
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
midfielder that could be Grealish, and then let Leao be the Vinicius to the Haaland.
Ryan, bro. They'll just dominate for the rest of our lifetime if that's the case. If Leo goes there along
He
with
should
Haaland.
go there. I think I don't want. I love Leao so much. I don't want him to come and suffer at Chelsea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Like I
does, but
feel like it'll be so much pressure on him. The big signing to come and change Chelsea, and everybody want us to close the gap on Liverpool. Like as I told in that last Bayern stream, I said that young players, no matter how good you are, must come in within a good skeleton to perform, right? And they would expect Leao to be the main bone in that skeleton, which is unfair. And I think that Leao should definitely just think about it before you come Chelsea. I don't think he should come Chelsea. Like as a fan of football, I wouldn't want him to come at Chelsea at all.
do you think though, Ryan, Chelsea one day won't improve under Graham Potter? Like I feel like the work he was able to do in Brighton, and I was just looking the clip that you provided me for Dezabi against Liverpool. Even Dezabi said post match that a lot of this work is still Potter's work, of course. He's just come in and just added a few bits and pieces. Obviously, it's going to take a bit of time for his football to be played, but he's very happy where the team has, been left by Potter. And I look at that Brighton setup and the way they're playing at the moment. Is it too far fetched to think that he can't get the same sort of play with Chelsea down the track?
Just repeat that last second there. I just broke up a little bit.
So I was saying, like, is it too far fetched to think that Potter won't get that same level of footballing style that he's left Brighton with, that he won't get that in Chelsea?
I can't. I think what really strikes me with Potter is his combination play. I think it's really well thought out. Like I was seeing that Brighton like build up, and a lot of people saying, was it is it De Zerbi or how you pronounce that?
I think so. De Zerbi, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Roberto
talking
De Zerbi. Yeah.
a big thing about him was his build up play, but his build up was fantastic. But what really scored that goal was the combination play after the build up play.
Yeah.
That second and final third combinations was fantastic and movement. So that could be Potter's work. I don't know. As I said, I never studied Potter really, but at Chelsea, we're just gonna have to wait and see, bro. But I don't feel too positive. You know
Mm.
why? Because I feel as if the board is in one direction and the manager just has to follow the board and make use of what's going on.
Yeah. Is
Because
that how you feel about Todd Bowley and the new ownership? Yeah.
I feel Todd they they want the best for the club because they invested in the best players and stuff. But I don't know if they're quite doing it the right way.
Mm. Mm.
And I think they said like why would they spending so much because they're expecting fair play rules to change since COVID is finishing off.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get big signings now. So they're trying to get out Leao and Kunku Vardiol now.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have to get any repercussions,
Yeah.
which is cool. But honestly, like I think like a player like Leao, like you need to think about the pieces to their puzzle, bro. Because I don't know how Nkunku and Leao will work. I don't know how Nkunku will work. You know,
Mm.
like some players, you just need them to work in a certain system, you know?
Mm.
And that's why, like, with Man City, they have a certain system, and you could guess the players they might go for.
And look, there is so much uncertainty, as you said. How much do we really know about Potter's style of football as well? If we want to use Brighton's style and the player profiles that they have as a base, then you sort of will have to think, well, Brighton have Danny Welbeck up front. Like I think he wants someone, a robust sort of striker who can hold up the play as well. We don't have that. So is he going to go for someone like that? Maybe, I don't know, like Ivan Toney down the track,
Yeah.
and then maybe someone like Leao makes sense to play along, and maybe Nkunku just behind Ivan Toney as that number 10 creative type of a player, second striker, whatever you want to call it.
If I was
Um,
any player in world football, I'd probably just say don't go to Chelsea right now. Like big player, because they obviously don't have a plan.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
so
yeah.
hard. Like I really don't want Leao to do this to himself, honestly, bro. Like
Mm,
coming and playing with certain players. I wouldn't call names, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? It's just
mm,
like
mm.
why? You have men like Tonali and Theo Hernandez playing with you on that left hand side, feeding it to Zlatan and Giroud. Like
I hear you, bro. I really do. I can't even argue. I don't think many Chelsea fans can argue because obviously we're not playing good football. My only thing is, honestly, Ryan, at the moment is I'm just patient. I can't be harsh on Graham Potter. Like, he's only had 2 games with Chelsea Football Club. So I'm just patient and hoping that it all changes, that it all clicks. But you're right. We can't deny the fact that what
three
is the
one
plan?
Napoli.
Oh my
Three
God,
one.
they are absolutely acing them right now. But Ryan, I can't deny the fact that like, what is the plan? I
The
mean,
thing
okay,
is,
fine.
with
You get
Potter,
you
right?
get
I
yeah.
haven't seen him under adversity yet. Does that make sense to you? Because it's like Nuno. It had a point in time that Wolves came up to nearly Champions League space, and
Mm,
every big team was putting his picture as possible managers who could take over in those big teams. Nuno.
mm,
And sometimes at those mid-table club, something just clicks in mid-table clubs,
mm.
and they have a good 2 3 years, not three, about 2 years.
Oh, goal into Milan.
Who's good?
Chanaloglu.
Nice,
I
nice.
think
Yeah,
that's how you pronounce it.
sometimes something just clicks, and as like Nuno with new players and new club, he sank.
Mm.
But the thing is, they were smart. They didn't give him a long contract. For us now, we want to give this man 4 years. Is it 4 or 5 years?
5 years, I think.
5 year contract. And listen, I heard a lot of good things about Potter, yes, but why not 18 months at first with an option for next year? And things like that just makes me question like the naivety of this board coming into football for the first time.
Mm. Mm.
And it really makes me fear as in what could possibly happen in the future for Chelsea. Because we don't even have a spine and we need to build a spine, but it seems like we're building around the spine first, if that makes sense.
It, it it does. It does. Look, what can I say, bro? What can I say? I'm very confused myself. I think most Chelsea fans. I don't know. I can't say much about them on their behalf. The way I feel is I'm uncertain. I'm still a little bit shell shocked. Like I'm slowly getting over it, of course, but I'm still a little bit shell shocked by the way how Tuchel was removed and all these players came in. We didn't even give them an opportunity to see that out. Okay, that's by the by. Graham Potter's come in. It's still the same sort of players. You know, some of the ways that we're playing can still look boring. It still does look boring, but once again, I'm not blaming Graham Potter because how do you get a tune out of these same players? I'm patient. Hopefully, it turns around. You're right. The contract situation, 5 years. You know, both Eunice and I, we were talking not that long ago, and I said he was saying this same thing that what happens if Potter, like let's just say for argument's sake, monumentally fails, like he comes like 13th, 14th in the table. Then what? Like we're sticking with him.
And this board just seems like somebody who might not want to swallow the pill that they may have made a mistake. So it's like when a
Yeah.
board invests in someone for 5 years, they wouldn't
Bro,
want to give
at
up.
12 million a year. So he ain't going nowhere.
And same thing with Lukaku and Petr Cech is like when you invest so much into this decision, you wouldn't be ready to let that decision go without trying your best for it to come to fruition. And
Yeah.
I do not know how on earth Chelsea got in this position. Well, obviously we know with sanctions and everything, but like
Mm.
it's just that I don't know, man.
No, I feel you, bro. I feel you. I think we just need to time. We just need time. This is where wins are so important. This is where hopefully a win against AC Milan, then a win against Wolves, like it can create something, a momentum, man.
I think Miz before I think for a long ever since Mourinho came first time, he developed a culture at Chelsea to win trophies, us against the world, going for it
Yeah.
all, nothing less than top. And that lasted from Mourinho to all those managers, Ancelotti and those guys, and then he created it again in 2014.
Mm.
I think that many managers came into Chelsea and rode off of that
Mm.
mentality of the Terrys, the Lampards, the Drogba's, the Costas, the Hazards, etc. It changed like a baton. That mentality went from generation to generation, from the
Mm.
Drogba generation to the Hazard generation, right? Hazard and Costa
Yeah.
and Fabregas. But if you
Yeah.
think about it, the baton never really went to anybody else.
No.
Think about it. The personality and character from that generation, let's just say Hazard, Costa, Fabregas, Pedro Willian, those guys, the
Yeah.
baton have not passed on.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't.
The culture of the club, the
Yeah.
winning mentality of what Mourinho did in 2004 or 5. And
Mm.
the thing is, the For that culture to come back, a manager will have to impose it to this team.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt that Tuchel had the potential to do. How could a guy, the thing is, Tuchel had some kind of, he won trophies in different places. He went to a UCL final before.
Yeah.
He had a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Pedigree.
Yeah, a kind of pedigree to create that culture at Chelsea. And I think it would need a manager would need to create that culture at Chelsea again. And
Yeah.
is Potter the man to do that? If Potter comes in and said, I want to win trophies, trophies is all I know, then
Hmm.
players would be like, how?
And I don't think Potter's saying that either, to be honest. Like, look, this is how I see the situation, Ryan. Whether we like it or not, the new owners came in and they didn't get along with Thomas Tuchel. All right, it can happen. And at the end of the day, this is your football club. Do whatever you want to do with it. If you don't get along with the guy who's leading the team, well, fine, move on. So then they get the guy named Graham Potter, and I think they had some sort of relationship with him when they were talking about Mark Cucurella, and they found that he's the kind of guy that they want to collaborate with. You'll notice the wording that these owners use: collaboration, working together, data analytics, sharing of data. Like they want a more inclusive kind of a feel, as opposed to how previously Chelsea was sort of run in a manager, you do your thing, Marina, you do your thing. Um, More or less, you see what we need, and there wasn't really proper scouting, proper talks about what is the philosophy of the football club. Just try and fit players as you go along, right? And this is why our managers have been getting sacked left, right, and center. No manager ever goes beyond even 2 years, right? For the past so many years that have gone by. And now these guys have come in and they've taken a stance that they're going to get all of them, everyone new, even the medical staff room, like all of them, everything new.
Yeah.
Um, and they've got in Graham Potter. They feel that his communication is good. They can work with him. Graham Potter is going to be hands on. And I get the feeling, as much as that, they say that Chelsea Football Club, we're all about it's winning. That's the culture that's been built. I think I don't know, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, or the live chat as well. I just get the feeling that they may be okay for short-term pain. Like they may be okay if we don't win anything for one season, or we get knocked out from, we don't make it top four, or like right now, get knocked out of group stages in the Champions League. They're okay to bear this season's pain, but see some sort of cohesiveness, see some sort of a new culture developing under the new ownership, under Graham Potter. I guess to answer your question, they feel Graham Potter is the guy to create the new culture.
And he could be. I
He could be,
like I
yeah,
like what I hear of him. I will give him all the time and respect in the world. I'm talking more from a plan perspective. It's
yeah.
like I feel like every single season, the way people look at Chelsea and its players gets lower and lower and lower and lower. I mean,
Mm.
listen, I'm sorry that I haven't, I couldn't be a fan in the 90s because I only born in the 90s, right? It's not like I came out the womb being a proper Chelsea.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will ask me like, well, you don't know the culture of Chelsea before the glory days.
Mm.
So I'm very careful to talk about Chelsea culture. So let me just say modern Chelsea culture. The
Mm.
mammoth international brand club, which is Chelsea FC, right?
Mm.
The way from 2005 till a couple years ago, Chelsea was known as a club that you want to dominate Europe and dominate
Yeah.
in England.
Of
They
course.
were seen as a team that we want to challenge for titles, right?
Yeah.
And then ever since that international break, not international break, sorry, that ban, it came
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the fans started lowering the standard of what they expected
Yeah.
from players from a short term on results from a short term. Now it's reached that habit has turned into more than a habit. It's become an identity that what we expect from our players is not the same as we used to expect before. What we
Yeah.
expect from the club as a winning perspective is not the same as before. Because like people would say, "Oh, it's so foolish to compare this player to Eden Hazard." But both of them playing on the wing. How do you think Real Madrid makes? How do you think Real Madrid keeps this level? Because they want their new person in this position to take up and be just as good as the last person in that position. I'm not talking about Ronaldo because that is impossible.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the world class stars. They keep that expectation. You want to make it in this 11? Well, you have to be just as good as the next guy who won so much titles for us in that position. Or else you could just go somewhere else. Why would you come here if you're not better than the guy who won us 5 titles? But we have on Twitter people saying, you can't compare this guy to Hazard. Why not?
Yeah.
Can't compare this one to Drogba. Why not? Because that's the standard. That is the line I draw for my Chelsea Football Club. And that's the line fans should draw. And that's the line managers should draw. And that's the line the board should draw. If you want Chelsea to be a mammoth club. But because we have mammoth club money, don't ever forget that. The kind of money Chelsea invested these past 3 years is
A
mammoth club
lot.
money. Let's
A
not
lot.
pretend that we are like say a Serie A team like Napoli and we could only spend 40 million every summer. We spend nearly 200 million every summer. So we have
It
mammoth club money.
it's like what Matisse said yesterday in All You Can Eat Chelsea. By the way, that was such a banging show, man. Wow, it was unbelievable that particular episode. They were talking about Man United, and Matisse was saying to Grizz that, oh, so what do you think about McTominay now? And then Grizz was like, I still think he's a good player. And then Matisse was like, how can you say he's still a good player when they had players like Paul Scholes and Roy Keane and whoever else they had in their midfield back in the days, and then Grizz was like, you can't be comparing them to McTominay, and then Matisse said, but why not? Like that's their standard. Like that's the Man United standard. Like,
Yes.
McTominay is not the standard. You
And
can't be saying, oh, but you can't compare McTominay with those. No, you have to. And I completely understand what you're saying, Ryan. That as much as I appreciate what transpired in that transfer ban season, we ended up coming fourth. But I think fans at that particular season didn't have much expectation of what was, a lot of people were saying, even though I fully expected us to make top four because I thought team was still good enough across the board against other teams besides Liverpool and Man City to make top four, and we did. But I think, as you said, it kind of made fans feel, this is good enough. This is good enough, as opposed to let's reach for the top. And Tuchel, for a time being, sort of clouded that scene a little bit with the Champions League win with these players, and it kind of made us look like these guys are all superstars. They're Champions League winners. They're top notch players. And then straight away the season after, it all sort of went pear-shaped when we saw that he couldn't get the same tune out of these players. So the bottom line is, you're right. Like, some of these players are not as good as Lampard, not as good as Drogba, not as good as, whoever else from Ashley Cole, or not as good as Essien, Mikel, Ballack, and the list goes on. it isn't wrong to say that, because that was the standard. That was the level. Those were the caliber of players. And now it seems like stating that kind of levels with the current players that we have, it's seen as, oh, you're not a fan. You're not
But
a
Miz,
fan.
hit this, right?
Weird.
Subra just said we love him. He's a great supporter of the channel, right? And it's always nice to us. But he said, to be fair, Hazard's one of generational talents. There are a few like him. Well, that generation is over and we enter a new generation. So we need a next generational talent. That's the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
The Di Maria generation is gone, so they got Vinicius. When
Yeah.
Benzema generation is over, they'll get someone new.
Mm.
The Zidane generation was over, they got Modric and all these guys.
Very
When
true,
Modric
bro.
and those guys go, they'll get the next generational talent.
Which they already have. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde.
Yeah, and that is what happens. That is the standard of the club. And the thing is, we must be careful because we had a winning Mourinho standard. I always say Mourinho standard because he implemented that at Chelsea and it stayed like that. And he set the benchmark, and every manager came in and had to live up to that benchmark.
Yeah.
But you know what happened? We set in a new benchmark. Because I remember when I was on Twitter, I was a fan I was on Twitter since 2012 and 2010 and stuff, right? Football Twitter. That's when Tweet Chelsea FC was around, and those are the big guys on Twitter, right? We used to make fun of Arsenal for aiming for top 4.
Yeah, of course.
We used to say, wow, that look, they got the top 4 trophy.
Yeah.
You know what was our trophy this year, Miz?
Top 4.
What was our trophy last year?
Top 4.
What's the trophy
Although
that
we did get Club World Cup, we did win Club World Cup, and
I'm talking about aim.
yeah, top 4. It was top 4.
The year before that, what was our aim? Even though we won the championship, what was our aim?
Just scrape into top 4.
And the year before
it was a
that,
disastrous start.
The year before that, what was the aim?
Top 4 under Frank Lampard.
Right. So our goal, our trophy in our mind is top 4.
Yeah.
You can't break through. If you set that standard for yourself, it came from a Lampard 3-year plan, to a Tuchel 3-year plan, not a Potter 3-year plan. All of a sudden, you look back and say it's been 7 years, we didn't do anything.
Well, it has been 7 years since we last won Premier League title, and in terms of points as well, Ryan, it's not been a good look. Like I think we've barely hit 70 points. So you see, these are the conversations I suppose not many people want to entertain. They feel uncomfortable.
Someone just said you can't slander Mount at 23 and say why he isn't prime Lampard. Well, nobody even mentioned him, so we don't really even talk about that.
No one's even talked about Mason Mount.
Yeah, so I'll just say this, right? I do not care. Big clubs in this world, Miz, Man City. Okay, the best clubs in this world: Man City, Bayern Munich,
PSG,
Real Madrid, Barcelona, still in a rebuild, but Barcelona, PSG. They do not care or give a. I don't say no bad words, but they don't care about what age you are. It's a simple thing. We have a level of a certain 4-1. We have a level
Napoli,
of we have a certain level for each position, and that level wins us La Liga nearly every year and has us in semi-final of the Champions League. For you to make it in this 11, you have to be better than that level. If you're not better than that level, what is the point of you being in this 11? And that's all I have to say.
And this is why, and this is the culture that I want to foster in this channel, because I can see it in Twitter or in any other social media platform, especially Twitter. This love affair for players over the club. I've never been the one to do that. Even though I've got my extra feelings towards Ziyech, I've never ever put Ziyech on top of Chelsea. In fact, I've been very, very ruthless towards Ziyech as well. But I've never campaigned for a player so badly where I try and divide the fan base. And this is the issue. There seems to be a lot of player fandom these days, as opposed to the club fandom. What is best for the club? Like, and once again, some people might take this negatively in the live chat right now, but we'll start with, let's say, Kai Havertz. Very good, talented player. But what is the benefit for the club if he drops 3 seasons of average performances? Okay, fine. Sprinkle in some injuries and adaptation time when he first came from Germany as a young kid. He's still young, I get it. But what is the benefit? Take away the emotional, sentimental side of things. Oh, but he's young. How are you? That's not the conversation. The conversation is what is best for Chelsea Football Club, not what is best for Kai Havertz. And I'm just using one name because I don't want to use Mount. You guys are going to harass me if I use the word Mount. But you can use that on any player. Christian Pulisic, 4th season with Chelsea Football Club, I believe. People want to worry about Christian Pulisic as opposed to worrying about Chelsea Football Club. Why?
But I just want to know like this. What is the expectation of this club now? The Chelsea I grew up with is a Chelsea that wanted to be the best club in England and wanted to take the leap to be the best club in Europe.
That's a penalty. Luis Diaz. Liverpool just got themselves a penalty. Yep, go on.
And I just think that the expectation from the top to bottom has gone. I think even from even in the Roman era too, I wasn't quite sure what the plans were or what that. I know they have a standard. Do not get below 4th, but or do not go a trophyless season. But it just weird because you fall in love with something, and then it's like that is gone. Everything you loved about that club just seemed withered. And that's a hard one. I just feel like I just remember the days, bro, like a weekend watching Chelsea. It was us against the world, bro. It was that we coming to take it all. Shithousery, dominance. We wanted to win everything. We wanted to go in Sir Alex Ferguson's home, which Old Trafford that is, not his actual home. But we wanted to go Old Trafford and take everything.
I'll tell you this though, Ryan. Like, I caught, I think, a season or a couple of seasons just before. I wasn't like someone who was watching Chelsea the way I do now with the content and everything. Obviously, I was a lot younger back then. Talk about like 1998, 1999, sort of just before Roman kind of took over, or even just 2000. Chelsea wasn't always like that though. Like, Chelsea became ruthless under Roman's tenure. And even under Roman's tenure, the last probably 5 to 6 years, we bought players, but that ruthlessness sort of drifted away a little bit. We won the odd trophy here and there, but the rise of Man City, the rise of Liverpool really kicked in, right? Especially Man City. This is how I feel what is happening now, or what I'm hoping is going to happen, or the vibe that I'm getting under the new ownership is it's a reset. I think it's all about forget what has happened under the Roman era. Forget the Chelsea that you knew under the Roman era. It's a reset. It's a new face. It's a new brand. And the way I feel is there will be short-term pain. There will be short-term pain, but what the new ownership is hoping to do is get long-term sustainability down the track. This is why the manager gets a 5-year contract, so that he can implement his philosophy. Yeah. This is why we're looking for a sporting director. This is why we've done a whole heap of cleanup. Yes, the planning still seems all over the joint. All our news is always public. What is the thought process around Nkunku? What is the thought process around so on and so forth. So,
I understand what you say short term, but it's kind of like this. Is like 7 years since we lost that expectation, a standard, and it's like I'm all for short term pain for gain, right? But say that'll drag on to 8 years, maybe 8.5, 9 years, right? Till we close that gap. 9 years, that'll be closing to nearly a decade.
yeah,
I want to say is that what reputation Chelsea had before, what culture they had before is lost. And
yeah,
we could reach a
to a certain
crossroads
degree.
where no matter what player or manager you bring, the culture, the expectation of the club will always take over. Example, Manchester United. They could bring in whatever top manager, whatever top players. And at the end of the day, what will happen is that the culture, the club will always take over. The culture comes from something within, the expectation of the media, the expectation of the fan, the expectation of the manager is something higher than all of us that we reach on to, we strive for. And I'm fearing that what Chelsea fans strive for now is top four.
And the only way to change that, Ryan, is the ownership have to show the ambition, right? Like I think
it comes from the manager too,
and the manager, of course. But this is where I can't.
Can't
If I
be
look
only
at
ownership because, as you said, you could bring in Leao, you could bring in everybody, but if that culture expectation doesn't come, that you have to win no matter what, it would not happen. The player, very often, the player fits into the club. The club does not fit into the player. Always remember that. A Haaland at Chelsea is not the Haaland at Man City. Always remember that.
Of course. I think where I feel you're sort of caught up is right now moment, and I'm more sort of thinking future moment, because I know what's happening now, and I can sit here and talk about everything that is incorrect. But I'm more thinking down the track, in regards to Graham Potter. Yeah, that winning mentality. Like, have a look at his background though. Like, from Swedish third division or something like that, taking them to the first division, playing in Europa against Arsenal. That is in itself is a monumental story. Then making it to Brighton and making Brighton competitive to the point where they're dancing toe to toe with Liverpool. The kind of football that they played earlier on when Graham Potter was still their manager earlier this season. The way they've dismantled Man United, the way they played against other teams, like the way how he's made Brighton sustainable after seeing that in itself. I feel like there's value to that, Ryan. There is value to that.
A lot of value to it. I agree. There's a lot of value to it. But at the end of the day, Potter had, at the end of the day, all the things you mentioned there is still not Chelsea standard.
But see, this is what I'm trying to say. The Chelsea standard that you are talking about is Roman era. And what I'm trying to tell you is we have to erase that from our memory. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I hope it don't go so far back in memory that we end up like Man U 8 years from now.
And that would be the total sort of...
Because look, for Liverpool to get back to this level, tell me what changed. Was it the ownership that changed? That was the same ownership that bought Carroll and those guys. What spearheaded that team to change?
Different personnels, man. Like in the board, in the scouting department, and the manager, of course. The players.
It's the manager. It is the manager. Change everything. You could bring in that that sporting director, but that manager spearheaded that. And no,
Yeah.
people say we need to move on from past Roman. Thing is, people. So you saying, okay, let's move on from past Roman. So let's move down. I say, okay, let's move on from past Roman. Let's go up. That's the difference. And I know you say short
But no
term.
one's saying
No,
no one's
I know
saying
you're
to
saying
go
short
down though.
term. I know you're saying short term. I'm just saying where it's like you don't. It's like Real Madrid when they start losing. They didn't say, okay, guys, next year in La Liga, we had a bad season. Let's aim for number 4 in La Liga. Right? Barcelona, they had a bad season under Koeman. They didn't say, okay, Xavi, let's aim for 4. You know what they said? Xavi, let's go there. Let's get Koundé. Let's get Lewandowski. Let's aim for what? 1.
Yeah.
And that's the difference because you know what? Barcelona will go above managers, will go above boards, will go above presidents because it's an expectation of the badge. Real Madrid, there's a respect for the badge. Chelsea is not Roman. Chelsea is not Bowley. I wanted Chelsea to be an expectation for that crest, you see.
Okay, so okay, you've said a lot of stuff which makes sense, fine, and where you've said that why are we
And
looking
people saying,
down?
Ryan,
We
you're
should be
stuck in the
looking up.
past. I don't really even give a
No.
to
Hold
be
on.
honest.
Let's actually try and get to the bottom of
No,
your
actually, miss,
psyche.
I have to piss real bad and get some water, but I'll come back for this conversation in 2 minutes, right?
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Come back, bro. It was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I really want to hear what you have to say, but honestly, miss, like,
Yeah, definitely. Go get yourself a drink and water, and we'll continue this. I think it's a riveting conversation, man. I think we'll get both sides of the story, and it'll be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, 60 minutes gone. Inter Milan 1, Barcelona 0, and on the other side of the coin, Liverpool 2, Rangers 0. I was hoping that Rangers were going to do something, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And Liverpool are going to get that victory most likely, unless something miraculous goes down right now. But it doesn't look like Rangers are just not. They're not a team that can give Liverpool any sort of pain. Inter Milan, they look structurally very, very good. And Barca, they just haven't been able. Here we go. This opportunity right now. Ousmane Dembele. Oh my days. How do you miss? Oh, Dembele has not been that great. I mean, he's done stuff, but that end product is not there. So very, very frustrating. Club Brugge 2-0 against Atletico Madrid. That's incredible. Hey, how's Porto still 0-0? I thought Porto scored. Did that get chalked off? Spurs versus Frankfurt 0-0. Napoli 4-1. Incredible scenes over there. Lee saying, loving the in-depth conversation. And we'll continue. Don't worry. I want to. It's great to hear two different perspectives here. Like, I fully appreciate what Ryan is saying. I do, because I do understand that. I understand his passion. I understand where he wants Chelsea to be. But I also feel there is another story on the other side. Do you know what I mean? So, and I guess we need to be somewhere in the middle. There's no need to be aggressive, or there's no need to be rude about this conversation, because we all have different perspective. And at the end of the day, no perspective is right or wrong. Like, it's how you see. So now, the way I see under Graham Potter, honestly, is patience. That's how I see it. Now, is that word something that is associated with Chelsea Football Club? No. We've never been patient. We've never ever been patient. And some may say for the right reasons, because we've won trophies here and there. We've always thrived to win trophies. This is why we're not patient. We don't want to settle. We don't want to settle for less. But we're at a point where, honestly speaking, if you're not patient, I don't think it is possible to win the Premier League ever again. Man City have got a stranglehold on the league. I'm talking about the league. We'll get to the Champions League and all that later on. Man City have got a stranglehold on the Premier League because of the stability that they have in their football club. Obviously, massively helps when you've got a gaffer like Pep Guardiola, who's a serial winner and a fantastic tactical manager. Yeah. So, continuing with our conversation, you were saying a couple of things. While we're looking down, we should be looking up. And this is my full point of view. Hear me out, and then I'll let you say whatever you want to say about it, right? I don't think Chelsea's looking down. And I don't think Chelsea are unrealistically looking up either. I think where we are right now, the new ownership, they've got flaws, no doubt about that. They've got flaws, but I think they've tried their level best to get quite a lot of players during the summer. They've monumentally failed in certain cases, but they've tried their level best. And even then, they've got in quite a lot of players, man. Sterling, Wesley Fofana, this, that, the other, right? Now, I think it's highly unrealistic, and let's assume for a second that they wanted to keep Tuchel. Even with all of these players coming in, it's highly unrealistic from my standpoint, from my opinion, to expect Thomas Tuchel, with all of these new players coming in, to all of a sudden gel and go after Man City. As much as we want to say from the start of the season, now we should be challenging for the title, of course, but it's not realistic. Whether we like it or not, it is not realistic, especially with the stranglehold that Pep and Man City have in the Premier League. It's going to take time. And also, Liverpool and Klopp. Obviously, now the way it's transpired, Klopp and Liverpool sort of falling off in the Premier League. But you can show the ambition which the new players that have come in. I don't know how many more new players Bowley and the new owners could have brought. I don't know. They've done pretty okay for their first summer under the circumstances. They literally took the ownership 2 to 3 weeks or 2 weeks after the transfer window opened. And then obviously they sacked Tuchel and they brought in Graham Potter. I don't necessarily think bringing in Graham Potter is looking down. And the reason being this. Who else could we have got at this stage is the number one question. I didn't want Tuchel to be sacked, but as I said...
Well, everything under Tuchel is looking down, by the way. Let's just get that one right there.
And everything under Tuchel was looking down, by the way.
Any other manager available...
Of course.
Is looking down.
Yeah, but we understand.
No footballing board would have rightly done that. A footballing mind at the board would have done that, by the way.
But
so that's looking down.
So what do we do though, Ryan?
No, I'm just saying this. I'm talking about culture perspective. Listen, I'm all for pulling back the arrow so you could launch it. I'm all for that. But it seemed like for the longest time we pulled this arrow and now the string bursts. And just you have no arrow.
What I'm trying to understand is who are you blaming or what seems you talk about the culture. Listen, the culture of the previous owners gone though.
I'm not starting a point to close it. I'm talking about where we are now.
As a club?
Yeah. So it's like
okay. Where are we as a club?
I'm not here extrapolating about the future because I can't read the future. It could go either way.
Sure.
I'm talking about the club culture It's lost.
And what is that? Explain to me. What is the
No,
club culture
the
from
winning club
your
culture
perspective?
from 2005 to
Yeah.
2017
Yeah.
is lost. It thing is when you look at Chelsea, right? In 2005 to 2017, when people came to Chelsea, why did players come to Chelsea for?
To win.
In 2022,
It's good salary as well, let's be honest.
in 2022,
Yeah.
why would players come to Chelsea?
To win. Why wouldn't they? Like, do you think Sterling's come to Chelsea not to win, though?
I think Sterling had a lot of reasons why he came to Chelsea. Family reasons.
And you think winning is not a reason?
To win what? Okay, you say players come
See,
to Chelsea
this is
to
where
win.
I have to disagree.
No,
I
they
can't
come to Chelsea to
imagine
win
how
what?
players come to Chelsea
Okay,
not thinking about winning.
Chelsea players. Okay, Chelsea players come to Chelsea to win what? What title? Name the trophy.
Titles,
Name
yeah,
the trophy.
titles.
Name the trophy realistically. A player will say, okay, listen,
Possibly win the
wait.
Premier League down the track,
Come
win
on.
some FA
It
Cup.
is a top player.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Mickey Mouse players here, right? A top player.
Okay,
Real
Aubameyang, is he a
Madrid
top player?
wants you. Bayern Munich wants you. PSG wants you. Chelsea wants you. Barcelona wants you. Man City wants you. Which team are you going to pick to win?
Of course, I'd pick them. But if
it had a point in time that Chelsea could have go head to head with every one of them clubs.
Yeah,
a player
so
would
that's
want to
gone,
come Chelsea.
and we're trying to rebuild that. Like, I understand that, Ryan. That era has finished. That era.
The thing is, what you don't understand what I say is here is this. That is not something when you build that and it dissipates like smoke. It's hard to start back that fire, you know.
Yeah, but you have to start though, right?
Like, and I know, but you're not listening to that I said that I'm talking about the current state. I'm not extrapolating about the future here. I'm talking about that the smoke is clear. The fire died when Mourinho left. And then we just had the smoke that remained. And we live off of that smoke, of that high from that smoke.
And I'm saying to you, I agree with you though. I agree. Like, I completely agree that fire has gone. But what do we do now though? What do we do now, Ryan?
But
this is what I'm asking you.
I'm just saying.
Do we just shut up shop and just move on?
No. Okay. But yeah, you would. So to make the fire again, you have to strive for that fire, right? You need the ingredients to make that fire. You need the wood. You need the friction to make that fire, or the fuel, or whatever kind of fire you want to make.
Yep.
The pieces of wood that people accepting at Chelsea will never ever make that fire. The quality of players, the mindset of the goals and ambition of these players will never ever make that fire.
See,
you'll make us.
I get the feeling you're unhappy with the fans. Huh? You're unhappy with the fans for accepting some of these mediocre players.
Why would I be unhappy at Graham Potter for?
But
why would I be unhappy at Bowley?
I don't give value too much what some fans are saying. Like, I respect the fans. I think this is where the big difference is between you and me.
No. You saying that fans don't make a thing? Listen,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm not caught up with that.
Top to bottom, you know. Complacency comes from the fans to up. But the thing is, right? I'm just saying here, it's not the fans' decision about the pieces of wood, right? Because it's not the fans' decision about the piece of wood. The fans don't sell and buy players, right? It all comes down to the manager and people in charge. And what I'm saying, for the longest time, many of these players have not been good enough. And
we all agree that.
And the fire that they will make will never be good enough. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that the best fires in the world have a nice fireplace. right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that I will always say that the players will never make the club. The players most of the time will fall into the club. They will mold themselves into the club's philosophy and culture. You, a big player, Sancho, a Pogba, a Schweinsteiger, all those people will go to Man U and become losers. Because for years they were okay being losers. And no matter who they bring, Ten Hag, Ten Shag, all these other guys, right? Anthony, millions, hundreds of millions every day, they come and the game gets worse. Why? Because the ceiling is lower. Right?
Okay, so what is it with Chelsea that makes you feel? Because I feel like we are trying to change that fireplace. We are trying to change the fireplace with Graham Potter. We are trying to change the fireplace by bringing in his backroom
Maybe we should
stuff.
just
We are trying
agree to disagree this time, bro, because we could talk about this until this
no,
Napoli
because
match done.
I,
And I
I'm
would just get myself a headache. Because, like, the thing is, bro, it's like, no, like, you wouldn't give me a headache, and I'll give myself a headache. That's the
I'm
thing.
just trying to understand
No,
what is your end point of the discussion, because what you've just said to me is just the issue. I understand the issue. What I'm not trying to get from you is you're saying big clubs have a good fireplace. I'm trying to tell you we are trying to build a good fireplace now. I don't
I'm
think
just saying,
you're
in the
saying
club,
that.
I say in big clubs, the badge transcends everything. Right? The badge transcends everything. And when people ask about what is a Chelsea badge, you ask them from 2015 to 2017, they'll give you a different answer than 2022. I know you saying, well, what if now we should look forward, right? I'm saying that the culture in this club is gone. It is gone.
And I agree with you. It is gone.
Players come here to go into business for themselves. Why they want time? They want to play for World Cups. They want to.
This is where I
make
disagree. But anyway, but go on. Yeah.
Players come in to go for business for themselves into Chelsea. Their dream isn't to play for Chelsea. Which big player would always say the dream is to play for Chelsea? I think my expectations of where I want Chelsea to be is just different from everybody. But I understand.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I just,
I don't think
you know
so.
what? I should just stop trying to make Chelsea something that he'll never be.
I don't think your expectation is different to Chelsea fans. I think you want what most Chelsea fans want, but I think what is happening is you're caught up in now. You're caught up, and you think this is how it's going to be forever. It will never change.
It's
It
been like
can
that for
never
7
change.
years,
It
by
will
the
be
way.
a mud. Chelsea will be a rubbish
So
team for the rest of.
So
that's how
y'all
you
have
feel.
arguments, right? Someone said move on from the Roman era.
Yeah.
Okay, here the dilemma here. So y'all say, okay, I say it's been like, I say that I want us to look up. Y'all say, well, it's time to move on from the Roman era, but it's been like this for 7 years now. That was part of the Roman era.
I want to look up. So how do we look up? What do we do? I do want to look up. That's not any different to how you feel. I want to look up.
I think a lot
So how
of
do
it
you
has to
propose we
come
look
down
up?
the expectation of the fans, to be honest.
What is the expectation of the fans? Just top four? Is that it?
Yeah.
And
Okay, they expect top 4 quality. I know.
But Ryan, I don't though.
Listen, the thing is,
am I not a fan?
No, you're not from England. You're not from, of course.
See this, like I can't like I get, because I know you, Ryan, and I know where the pain is coming from. That's why
Listen,
I'm trying to
the thing is,
talk to you about this.
The thing
and
is,
this is where I don't look. Let me make one thing clear, and to the live chat as well. I do not care about international fans, and I do not care about local fans, this, that, the other. I do not care who has a bigger say or whatnot. I care about what I am saying, right, and how I'm feeling.
I just feel like I fall out of love with this club, right?
I think this is what I was trying to get to you.
I just think I fall out of love with this club.
You've fallen out of love.
Yeah. You love a wife, right? How people don't say I'm misogynistic or whatever. You love a wife because they could tick this box, and that box, right?
Yeah.
And now you're gonna say, okay, divorce our wife again, new wife, but okay, here what? You don't take any of these boxes. We're just gonna build way in a 3-year plan for you to take these boxes.
Yeah. You've fallen out of love. You've
I
fallen,
fall out of love for this club. Simple as that. I miss the
and
days, man.
and you know what, Ryan? That's okay. That
I
is
just
fine. That is
I
all
just maybe
right.
I just grieving in my heart, bro. Like you love
And it's
something so much and you just
and
lose
it's
it. And then you see people
understandable.
online okay with that. It's like it's okay with having
See,
subpar players. It's okay with having a silky player who we don't even know what is his best attribute with. It's okay with having a number 10 who can't turn. It's okay with having a number 8 that can't break the lines.
but
It
Ryan,
can't.
there's a lot of people that are not okay with that as well. Why aren't you not looking at that?
No,
There's a lot of
I
people
just
not
feel
okay
like
with that.
honestly, bro, like I just fall in love with the sport, like
And that's the
supporting
thing.
a team.
And that's okay. That's okay. And this is what I was trying to get to, because from what you were saying, I was like, I think there's a deeper sort of connotation behind it, and the deeper meaning towards it is, with everything that has transpired, with the fans how they act, with the social media trend, you've fallen out of love with the club, and that's fine. And I hope it rekindles back to you, that the club can bring that back to you. Me, how I look at it is, I'm frustrated. I completely understand everything you've said. I do. I understand it. But me, I'm thinking, how can this club come back? I don't care about what whoever else is saying in Twitter. I don't care how many followers they have and what they're saying and what sort of pull power they have on social media and whether the club is looking at that or not. I don't care.
You know what it is,
I,
Miz? It's kind of like like you have an idea of this thing that you love, and then you interact with all the people around this thing, and you realize that this thing you build up this thing to be is not what it is. It's
you need
like
to disengage, bro. You need to disengage from those, like from that.
no, but it's just like it's like this. I think football, loving a football club is much more than loving the football. Is loving the culture around that football club, the people up
Of
from the ground
course.
level up. I
Of
think that
course.
football is life, and the
Of
people
course,
from the
bro.
ground up. You fall in love with that. You find a place of belonging in that club. From the ground up, not from the trophies down. It's from the ground, from the people up. And I just feel like as you get older, you start to understand. And yeah, Starboy, I'm so sorry, bro, for making you depressed. But it's just like from the ground up, man. It's just I just do feel like
And look,
you ever feel like this thing you make out that you love just end up being fake? Is not what it used to be anymore. It's just like I just feel like back in that day, bro. Like Chelsea used to be so rebellious, bro. I just have so
yeah.
much childhood memories from me. Maybe your childhood memories of Chelsea is different because I don't think Chelsea was on top them those days. But like my childhood Chelsea memories is like it was so rebellious, the Mourinho era. Like I just feel like
No, I
this
get
club
you. And
has
then look,
lost that.
maybe it's because, like, look, I've
But then
seen
it's the thing
life
is right.
more.
The thing is like you know what I probably get lost on is that I was a fan of something that could come and go. The attitude, the aggression, the rebelliousness, the feeling, the flying feeling. But that wasn't because I went. That was because of the attitude, the mindset of the club. But the thing is, maybe we get to the conclusion of it, Miz. I don't know if we should even be
I don't
saying this
think
on
there is a
camera.
conclusion. There's
No,
always going to be the
no,
two
no,
sides of the
no,
story
no,
here.
no. I fell in love with the attitude of an era. Whereas, and I wanted that attitude of an era to be the attitude of the club, the badge. In Real Madrid, there's no attitude of an era. There's an attitude of that badge. In Barcelona, there's no attitude of the era. For the past 30 years, is the attitude of the badge. In Bayern Munich, attitude of the badge. Right? And I feel like with Chelsea, as a kid, I fell in love with the attitude of an era, the Mourinho era, the rebellious era. And I just feel like people say about Bowley and Potter. This is now a Bowley and Potter. This is about from the fans going up to the players, going up to the manager, going up. to the bully. I'm not talking from the top down. I'm talking from the down up.
I
That
get you. I get you. I get you. You're talking about Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. These are historic clubs, man. Like,
yeah,
there's a
I
reason
just
why they
feel
say
like
they're heritage. Like
maybe we're just a
these are
small. Maybe this is just we just a small club, bro. And
well, it's smaller than them in terms of history. Smaller than them. Like, I mean, there's
that's a joke, but like, I just feel
no, no,
like
no. Like in terms of history, yeah,
I think
smaller than
that's my
them.
conclusion there. I fell in love with that era and attitude.
Yeah.
It's like people who love the attitude era in WWF, but now it's WWE, and like you just never love wrestling the same again. It's kind of like that with Chelsea. It's like ever since
Yeah,
that Conte
I hear
era
you. I hear
left,
you.
and that Conte era was like the last drippings of that what Mourinho built with Hazard and Pedro and those guys,
I hear you,
and
and I hope
Matic and those guys.
and I hope you know
But what
we
I'm
come
saying
around
is,
one
you
day
know
in
what?
time.
You know why I'm so distraught because I know how hard it is to start that fire again. Because
Well,
as I said, we started that fire with the special one European champion. I've come here. I'm the European champion. I've come here to win.
by the way, like I'm literally going to end it at 90 minutes, so be mindful of the time. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
carry on.
yeah. Well, I was just saying that I fell in love with that era. But the thing is, no, sorry. What I was just trying to complete and say is that, Miss, I understand that you say short term for long term gain. Yes, it is possible to make that fire again. What I'm saying is that that fire is so hard to make. And the thing is, it's easier to carry on through the momentum of that fire than to create the fire again. You understand what I'm saying? It's like
I do.
Ancelotti and those guys carried on from the momentum of that fire, that blaze, that Mourinho thing. Conte come and carried on from that momentum, that thing blaze. It was momentum. Even in the biggest clubs in the world, it's momentum, right? The thing is, when Wenger left, for example, that momentum died. That coming top four every time died. The fire was out. The expectation was out. And we saw how hard it was for them to build that fire again. Is it possible? Yes. Arteta came in. It took time. It took suffering. And they built that fire again.
Yeah.
And I still think that fire not even as strong as it could be. And I feel like with some breeze, that fire could go out anytime soon with what Arteta built. But I was saying that the fire that Chelsea had was so strong that the different wins, the different sackings, the different bans, the this and that, it had a momentum of attitude. That smoke was attitude and culture that was set from that blaze. But what I'm distraught about, Miz, is that after 7 years, with being okay with, first we was okay with the fire going out. And then we said, okay, the fire's out, but we have a spark. Then we was like, okay, we lost the spark, but we have black smoke. Then we was like, okay, we lost the black smoke, we have gray. All to the point that it just don't have any smoke again. You understand what I mean? That momentum has come to a complete halt. You understand what I'm saying? And now we're just sitting there rubbing wood and hoping that that fire could, it will take a lot of hard work, what I'm saying is. But that hard work will have to come from everything will have to go perfectly for that to come back again. What I'm saying is that why can't every top club be a top club? Why can't every club be a top club, Miss? And now to talk about money alone. There's probably the top 8 clubs in every league have a lot of money, right? The thing is,
be mindful of time, bro.
Yeah. What I'm just saying is that it's just so difficult to create that fire again. Everything that surrounds a club, you're talking about culture, you're talking about the attitude of players, the attitude of workers, attitude of the board, attitude of manager, everything has to fall in one to make that fire resistant to the challenges of football, the different winds, the different weather patterns. And what I'm just saying is that it will reach a halt, that fire of the past is gone, and we have to build it over. And I'm just talking about how difficult. It's not just something that we could say, okay, let's sit back for 2 years and we know for sure that fire will be there. Understand?
I don't think you're saying anything that I've not disagreed with anything that you said. I think ultimately you're saying what I'm saying. What you're saying, this is what I've said. We've just got to be patient, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
But we just can't
But
lose sight.
my thought process is, and I'm going to wrap it up because I don't want to go on beyond 90 minutes because I've got a few other things that I want to do content wise. So firstly, let's just get through this super chat, then I'll end things up. Sakala Offense, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Many players don't even want to come to Chelsea. If they do, they come for the package, London salary, and lifestyle. Winning is a bonus, not priority. That's okay. I don't have time to rebut on that. There are certain players that probably think in that way, but no, I don't think all players are like that. Felix, thank you so much for the super chat. It is clear to me that Bolly is bringing that fire regardless of fans. He's ruthless. He will get rid of anyone that doesn't cut it. Trust me. And it will take time. I think a new owner doesn't come into Chelsea to be mediocre. Felix, once again, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, how do we change the culture? You change everyone to bottom at Chelsea. Isn't that exactly what Todd is doing? Literally getting new lunch lady. Look, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, Inter Milan 1-0, Barcelona, 88 minutes, and Liverpool 2-0. Match will end very, very soon. As I said, there is no conclusion with the discussion that Ryan and I are having. It's a ongoing dialogue, to be honest. And my sort of perspective on this whole matter is, and Ryan said his thing. I'm not going to let him say again because we're going to go overtime. From what I feel is Ryan is definitely hurt with the current situation and what has happened previously, and it seems like he's caught up there, and there is no light at the end of it. Now, with me, yes, I agree with everything that Ryan has said, every single bit. But my thing is, I think it will change and it will be difficult. And this is why I'm saying that patience, the way we used to operate, it's not going to be the same. Now, whether you like it or not, whether you loved that attitude era and you don't like how things are right now and you want to sort of disengage a little bit, that's up to you. That's totally fine. But with me, I can't expect that anymore. For many different reasons. It's unrealistic. In order to compete against Man City, in order to compete against some of the top clubs around the world, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, this, that, the other, that attitude era that we had, that was a different era. That same way of thinking, that same way of doing your work ain't going to cut it anymore. You have to do something different now. You have to do something out of the box, something extraordinary. That way ain't going to work anymore. Let's just bring in Zidane. Let's just bring in Ancelotti. Let's just bring in XYZ. Or let's keep telling the fans it's all about... No, it's more than that. That's how I feel. It's more than that. And for me, look, whether we are falling into the trap as a fan base of accepting mediocrity, maybe we are. Maybe we are falling into the trap, but not all of us are. Not all of us are. There's many of us that on a consistent basis call out mediocre performances. They want things to be moved on and other players to be brought on because the club deserves that. So, look, I can't expect Chelsea Football Club to have the same emblem power as Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, because those emblems have been built for a very, very, very long time. And maybe we could have done that under Roman, but Roman is no longer here anymore. So let's see what Bowley has to do. Let's see what he's capable of doing. And for the time being, I think he's trying to do everything possible to make Chelsea Football Club not just only think about top four, but to go beyond that. Unrealistic, obviously, in the first sheet, but let's see what happens down the track. Let's see what he's able to do next summer, where the direction is. Let's see where Potter finishes this season. Let's see the mindset of the fan base at the end of the season. I don't know. I can't tell what the future is going to be like. I can have a feeling, but I can't tell what the future is going to be like. I can only hope that it goes positive. And that's how I'm going to end it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. A lot of people have enjoyed this, looks like. I think this is a fantastic comment right at the end. There is no right or wrong. Both Miz and Ryan are right from their own perspective. And this is what I've been saying. This is what I'm saying, that completely understand what Ryan is saying.
Well, Miz, you know all this before. I always tell you on WhatsApp, so it's not like anything new you're hearing here.
Yeah. I've not. This is why I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. Like, this is what we talk about. This is what we've said. So this is what I've continuously said. I completely understand what you're saying, bro. But I want to be able to bring you out of that. But maybe it's each to their own. It's their own journey.
Trying to make me fall in love with my ex again. Miz is coming to make the marriage right again, bro. Don't get divorced just yet. Don't sign the papers. Miz is working on it.
It's all about having your own journey with the football club. So you'll find your way one way or the other. I'll find my way one way or another, and I think each one of us will find our way one way or the other. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Inter Milan, 8 minutes of stoppage time. Oh, it hasn't finished as yet. Liverpool has definitely won, so we'll wait around for a little bit longer to see what's going on with Barcelona. 4 more minutes to go. Dirty Liverpool have won. Wanted them to lose, but Rangers are a very, very bad team. Tomorrow, obviously, Chelsea is going to be back.
Todd is cooking, bro. Let's bring back the final.
We have to win, man. We have to win. And if we get the victory against AC Milan, it will hopefully bring back some confidence.
Listen, it's not I lost the fire. Yeah, a man could only get emotional like this on a stream because how much I love Chelsea. You know what I mean? If I didn't love Chelsea, I don't give a shit. Like, I wouldn't even be talking about it.
Exactly.
I would be talking about Napoli, Ajax, but instead I was here talking about Chelsea for 2 hours. So
and I don't think you could ever talk about Napoli in that deep sort of
way,
level.
no.
Yeah, you can't, because you can tell Chelsea's in your blood, bro. As much as you're just hurt. You're hurt. I can feel it. I can sense it. You're hurt, and
I'm just an emotional guy, maybe.
And that feeling of hurt is absolutely, like,
bro, you're gonna
it's legit. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I can't wait for your next truth, bro. I'll just comment on your video and say he's hurt, man. He's hurt. It's I know Saka will feel in me, you know. He's feeling my heart. You know where it lies.
Ryan, we do it together, matey. Ryan, you're gonna make me cry.
We love Chelsea, bro. We love that feeling of waking up and we beat the best team in England, man. And all the I love that feeling, man. I miss that Chelsea.
100, bro. We all miss that Chelsea, but we gotta look forward, man. Roy, while Bowley will be replacing right or wrong good, other clubs will leave us behind. I'm for changes. I'm against where he's doing those changes. Yeah, and that can be questioned 100%. Some of the ways Bowley is sort of making decisions, I don't know, man. Firstly, too public. Secondly, getting rid of all of these people at once. Like, maybe you could have kept a few, but then again, he has his ways. Like, recently I saw a tweet from Fabrizio Romano in regards to Antonio Conte when he was asked about why aren't you using Doherty, why aren't you using DJ Spence or whatever that guy's name is, and I loved Conte's response. Some Spurs fans will probably not appreciate it, but I understood what he was saying. He was saying fans don't watch these players on a day-to-day basis. He watches them. And he was saying, the reason why I'm not choosing Doherty and DJ Spence, whatever his name is because they're not doing what they need to do in training. This is what he said. They're not ready to be selected to start. This is why Emerson Royale is starting. And I commented in that particular post of Fabrizio Romano saying, this is why we should have at times understood Thomas Tuchel. We can sit here and criticize and question. That's fine. That's what we do as fans. But understanding is a different thing. You can criticize, you can debate, you can have an opinion, but you need to understand. Right?
You see that comment there? I remember that too, bro. That Torres last minute, bro, when he just ran past the keeper, hit it into that empty net. And you just felt that energy, bro. You beat the best team in England. We are Chelsea. We taking it all.
Yeah.
Even though we were Mourinho said we were a baby cow, who needs milk. But bro, we used to, man, that was the days, bro. Like
those were the days. Come on, man. This game is just dragging now. Inter Milan versus Barcelona.
You still watching this game? I was wondering how come you're still here, because my Napoli game finished a long time.
Yeah, because this Inter Milan versus Barcelona was 8 minutes at a time. Should end now.
Yeah. But that being said, like, I do feel positive with how things are going, obviously, but it's just that I just don't want that attitude to die, you know?
Finally, it's over. No, you're right. No one wants that attitude to die, but nothing to say that, it's a victory for Inter Milan. There we go. Look how happy the Inter players are, man. My days.
Bro. He lives on another day, bro.
He lives on. This is a big victory, man. This is a big victory for Inter Milan. Yeah, man. No one wants to end that attitude, but at the same time, acceptance is one way of moving forward, and understanding that, who knows, a new attitude will begin, and a new attitude could be great as well. Like, we have to be open to that, because if we're not open to that, then it's over. It's absolutely over. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Honestly, it's been a pleasure having Ryan. I think it would have been an absolute boring stream if Ryan wasn't around, and just us talking about these matches.
Sorry for making everybody depressed. I
don't think it was
sleeping,
depressing
thinking
one bit.
about, wow, I miss Chelsea too.
I don't think it was depressing at all, man. I think it was a fantastic conversation.
I know. Yeah, a lot of analogies, of course.
And I think the listeners will get both sides of the coin, which is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. Hope you have enjoyed this. Smash the like button before you go, and if you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification. You will see the Chelsea versus AC Milan preview early UK time, so do look out for that. Maybe it'll drop around 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., something like that. And then obviously, I'll be back for the Chelsea watch along tomorrow. Good to see you guys all. Until next time, see ya.